Greetings. Thank you for tuning in for another video. Very glad to see you, as I hope that you're glad to see me. So, I want to ask you a question. Do you think it a bit strange or peculiar, rather, that many people seem to have wisdom? That is, many people seem to possess wisdom, but few people are considered wise. Have you ever considered this? What I'm saying is that most, if not all people, have some degree of knowledge that may be constituted or considered wisdom, right? Without getting into an abstract, in-depth discussion about what wisdom even is, I think that most people can say they know a parable, or they know a saying, or they know a general teaching or maxim or something that might be regarded as wise. But not all people are regarded as wise in themselves. So back to the question, do you think that that is peculiar? I, for one, do. I'm inclined to ask, okay, if every single one of us seems to, or most of us seems to, have wisdom, what is it that distinguishes the wise person, the person who is actually wise versus the person who simply has wisdom? Okay? I feel like that's a very simple question. I hope that made sense. So it led me to a sort of, I guess you could say, mental exploration, a mental adventure, intellectual adventure, let's call it that. It led me to that. And the other day while I was doing dishes, I began to think about a wise person. Like, what does a wise person seem like? And I immediately began to envision somebody who's old, who's lived a long time, who has studied or learned a lot about a lot of different things. Someone who is humble, but is curious and asks a lot of questions, right? And when I stumbled upon those last two qualities that I just listed, I had an epiphany. And it literally made my jaw drop. I was like, you know something? Children, hear me out on this. Bear with me, please. Children are the wisest of us all. Why am I saying this? Okay, children display what are, I believe, the two most essential qualities for obtaining wisdom. And not only obtaining wisdom, but becoming wise. Okay? What are those qualities? The qualities: genuine, sincere curiosity in the form of skepticism, and humility in the form of trust and innocence. So, to illustrate this, I think we've all had encounters with children in which, as an adult, a child asks you something and you explain it to them and they're just like, oh, okay. They just trust it and they accept it and they're teachable, right? But then they also, at times, ask follow-up questions when they experience something new, or they contrast what you've told them versus something else that they've learned, right? And so simultaneously, they're displaying the ability to learn and obtain information by being humble to accept what is taught to them, humble enough to accept what's taught to them, and then curious enough and skeptical enough to question the things that are taught to them, especially in relations to the things that they've learned in exclusion to that which has been taught to them. Oh, I hope I explained that well. Sorry if I butchered that. So anyways, I thought this so remarkable because it seems that when we become adults, we seem to lose both of these qualities. Maybe equally, maybe one in more proportion to the other. Not really sure how to conceptualize or explain it, but again, I'll illustrate it like this. Like as adults, for example, we become less humble and less teachable because we entrench ourselves in habitual thinking, in stereotypes, in narrow-minded sort of dogma-like rigid ways of thought. Like we become unteachable, right? And then on the other hand, we can become so prideful in what we already know that we lose that genuine curiosity. We lose the desire to question and continue to want to discover and understand more clearly or more thoroughly that which has been presented to us or that which we claim to already know, right? So you see what I'm saying? It's like we lose those qualities that children have that make them wise and make them wiser as we become adults. And that's the irony of it. That's why I'm saying children are the wisest of us all. Because if we remain like children throughout life, if we remain humble enough and also curious enough to accept and learn more through being teachable, and also through curiosity, ask those hard questions and be skeptical and challenge what is taught to us. If we maintain these two things, I think it is the path to wisdom. And I think that children demonstrate this perfectly. And so, yeah, that's, I know I probably did not explain that very well. This literally just, like I said, new insight just came upon me. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, critiques, concerns, anything, please add it. Love to hear from you. And I'll talk to you again soon. Until next time, bye-bye.